know.
All right. We are live. So I've got it set up right now so that we are on Zoom, but then this way we can kind of hop into some other stuff, and show you kind of what I was talking about. But I'm really excited to be able to work through this with you because I think that it's going to be super easy. So I'm actually going to kind of turn it over to you to share with us, where you're at and kind of what you're trying to accomplish.
Okay. So I guess a little backstory on how I got here. I have been vegetarian for about 15 years, and the business I want to do now is all around plant-based eating.
Okay.
Raising a family plant-based. So I've been a vegetarian for 15 years. When I was pregnant with my second son, our whole family went vegan.
That's awesome.
Plant-based. And I immediately was super passionate about it, just like I was being vegetarian. But my family took to it really easily, and our toddler absolutely loved it. So I started sharing stuff on social media, and during all this, I was building a Beachbody business. I was doing Beachbody for the last 4 years, and I kind of just had the same following there. It never really grew to be too big. So I've kind of been weaning myself out of that. And that's where I realized that maybe this could be the route that I want to go.
Right.
In helping families to transition to plant-based and things like that. So I have been putting together like some free
stuff,
worksheets and things like that because people have told me that that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And I think for me, it was really easy going plant-based because I was already vegetarian. But for people going from a meat diet to a plant-based diet, it's a lot more difficult.
Yeah.
So the hard part is I don't have a mailing list yet.
Okay.
Most of the people that I'm working with now, I was working with in Beachbody as well. And most of them are friends that kind of followed me along to this. So I obviously have their contacts, but I really need to build like an actual mailing list and start, cultivating more new relationships and things like that. But I also know it's easier to get mailing lists started when you have a freebie. And so I have the freebies, and I want to have the mailing list, and I need to figure out how to get them together.
Bringing it all home.
Getting intimidated by all the different ones, and then I'll read reviews where people say, don't do Clickfunnels, or don't do this one, or don't do this one, and I'm just like, I don't know.
There's a pissed off person on every possible platform, so you got to be careful because you really don't want to go down the slippery slope of not being able to take any action. If you see me keep glancing over here, it's because I have my phone pulled up watching us live, because since I'm screen sharing through Zoom, I'm watching to see if any comments are coming in so that we can. So I'm multitasking here. But so as far as like the freebie, like give me, and see, this is something that I'm actually interested in because I did go vegan for 30 days, and I know that like sounds like such a small scale compared to like your journey, but it was more or less just to see, can I do it? Do I like it? How do I feel? Like all this different stuff. And so it was super interesting to me because I learned like a ton of like more minimal ways to cook with stuff that I would have never thought of before, or things that I would have substituted or implemented that I was like, whoa, like that's not too bad. Like there's a lot of vegan substitute stuff that tastes really, really close to the real thing, or better. And so that was crazy to me because like, as somebody, because I'm a big hunter and fisherman, so like I eat meat, right? So it was like when I started like trying to go down this journey, I was like, all right, like what am I gonna do? Eat tofu the whole time? But like the more I started to explore it, the more I was like, oh, this is actually really good. And so I think that what you're doing is really cool to just show people that there's an alternative way out there.
Mm-hmm.
So what, like, assuming that, like, let's say that you wanted to start with getting me your freebie, like what is it? Or what are they? Because it sounded like you had multiple.
Well, I'm very scatterbrained currently. So I've done a couple. I've created like a plant-based or vegan shopping guide So like a list of all the foods that you can eat,
Okay.
More focusing on what to include in your diet, not what to remove from your diet.
Okay.
Because I think a lot of times people see, oh, I can't have this and this and this, so what am I going to eat? Lettuce? Like,
Yeah.
it's scary.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is a really comprehensive list that I created, and I shared it with some of my friends who are doing it, and they thought it was really helpful.
Okay.
So that's one of them. And then I'm also working on a 3-day to plant-based. So like a 3-day meal plan.
Okay.
All plant-based, so people can, try it for 3 days, and I can do it longer. I can do it 1 day. I haven't really decided, but I thought like plant-based in a weekend was kind of compelling, I guess.
Okay, so it's more of a challenge.
Yeah, and when I was doing all my other health and fitness stuff, that's what we really focused on, was like week-long free challenges. I did a lot of like clean eating meal plans and like water challenges and things like that. So I'm kind of using that same idea.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that really resonates well and is easy for people because it's not as scary when it's just a challenge for a few days. So those are the two that I've come up with so far that I actually have like content created.
Right. So the question kind of for that is like, how do you deliver it, right? That's where you're kind of stuck. Right.
And in the past, what I would do is like and obviously Facebook has changed so much in the past 4 years, but I would create something and every different challenge would have its own group.
Yep.
So I don't know how many groups I have on Facebook, like 50. One's like, here's a 3-day water challenge, and I put everybody in it, and then we all finish, and then I don't go back to it.
Okay.
So, and then I don't get emails from that or anything. So yeah, finding like, she's the wiggliest kid ever. Hold on.
That's okay. This is real life.
Seriously.
This is what it looks like to be an entrepreneur behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, finding a way where I can capture people's contact information for later when I create, or if I create some sort of paid course, or I've thought about doing like local, like helping people grocery shop for, their food, or providing them, more like in-person, hands-on help with becoming plant-based. Really figuring out how to give that, because I used to just literally post it in a group and they could take it and do whatever they wanted with it. But I want to make it a little more exclusive, I guess.
Okay. So what else could you sell other than your paid course, or a paid course that you would create? I'm just trying to wrap my head around like what people, one, pay for, or two, like try and come up with. Like, is there any value to having a like a plant-based meal plan or nutrition plan to help you like hit your macros? Like, is that valuable to people that are, into fitness? I don't know. Like, that was the hardest thing for me when I was like transitioning, was I was like, I'm not getting enough protein. Mm-hmm. And so like I had to like go through, and maybe that's something that you can create a freebie for too, is people that are trying to hit protein, like the top protein packed plant-based, stuff. Cause that was something I searched long and hard for, and compiled all my own resources.
That's where I'm like, I kind of go back and forth, because I do have this fitness background.
Yeah.
And my husband and I both work out a lot. Like, that's really something we love to do.
Right.
But I feel like that crowd is so different from the stay-at-home moms raising kids who want to eat healthier. And so I'm like trying to figure out, do I do a little bit of each, and do I focus on, okay, here's how, if you're working out, here's how to be plant-based and get all the nutrients you need.
Yeah.
Or is it, here's how to sneak greens into your kid's diet? Like,
I think
it's all really different.
I think that if your target is like, for kind of just using what you said, like the stay-at-home moms, I think you can really start to position it as, some of them do enjoy fitness. They might not be like these huge advocates that go to the gym, for 4 hours every day, but they like to get a workout in, so they want to know how to do that, or they might want to know how to incorporate it with their kids because that's a struggle. But I think hitting on all these pain points, and you'll start to see more pain points come out as you start to interact with more people. But that's where I think that you would have the greatest opportunity is, taking your experience and applying it to your target. Is that your target, the kind of the stay-at-home moms that are wanting to do this for their families?
Yeah, not necessarily stay-at-home moms, but definitely people who are trying to raise the whole
mothers,
family.
Yeah.
That, making it so it's not as scary.
Right.
I know a lot of husbands, it's a lot harder to get them to come over.
It was actually my idea.
Really?
Yeah.
My husband was super willing to do it too, and he loves it.
My wife hated it.
I have some friends who have a lot harder of a time. They're like, yeah, we do it, me and the kids, but my husband won't do it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So now, do you think having offering those different things, or nursing moms, something specifically towards nursing moms, and having all those different avenues is helpful, or just focusing on one?
So I think that you can expand into different stuff as you grow, right? Start hitting those markets as you kind of see those needs come out. If you my wife is in 50 different mom groups, and some of them are specifically for breastfeeding, right? So it's if you are in a group with nursing moms, it's hey, are you anybody interested in this? Just feel it out and see if that's a legit audience, and then try to if it aligns with them and it's something that they want, then yeah, absolutely go into that. But right now, I'd say take what you've got and start using it. If you've got that shopping list, that's something that is so overarching that it can tap into multiple different, whether they're in fitness or whether they're in whether they are nursing or whether they're have toddlers or whatever. It's this can all apply whatever stage of life you're at.
Yeah.
So I think. So the way that I see it is, yes, you could get them to. The way that I think would be the best would probably be to, engage with people and send them to a landing page, for example, like Clickfunnels, and then on the thank you page, you would invite them into a group, but the Facebook group isn't a just for this challenge. It's a group called clean eating or vegan eating or something that isn't just specifically tailored towards the group or the challenge that you're trying to do. So let me see here. Clickfunnels. Have you ever used Clickfunnels?
I have not.
Okay. Can you see my screen? Probably not. So Facebook's sharing my screen.
Well, I see it on Facebook.
Okay. Well, it's going to be delayed if we do that. Let me try to share this here. All right, can you see my screen now?
There we go. Yep.
All right. So you said you have never used Clickfunnels?
Correct.
Okay. So this might just be easiest if I kind of show you what I'm talking about. All right. So basically, if you're going to, let me get a charger real quick for my phone. All right, if you're going to build a new funnel, all right, if you're going to build a new funnel, you can come over here and select funnel type. Now, whenever you start, you can even choose through this what, I guess, industry you're in. And they'll give you different funnels based on that. here, you know, generate leads, sell a product, like depending on what you're trying to do. So if you're trying to generate leads, you can go through, and I mean, ClickFunnels, Russell Brunson, he's done a really good job of showing people like, what does this funnel look like? And here's a video like where he explains it.
No matter where you are today in your business, and it is a squeeze page funnel. It's very simple. It's only 2
and
pages
so
in
he
it.
goes through
He goes through and
explains it. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
All right. He goes through and explains it, and you know, you can get all sorts of different ideas out of that. But my point is, the way that I would see it would be to do this just simple 2-step funnel, and it would be something super simple. Let me even just do this. Add new. Oh, they used to have it set up a different way. All right, let me just go through. And the cool thing about ClickFunnels is you really have the opportunity to just drag and drop it. And there are really complicated systems I've used before. ClickFunnels is probably one of the easier ones. It's not the cheapest, but it is also not the most expensive. So, I mean, it works. And the thing that I like about it is you can set it up to deliver things right from your funnel. So somebody else was asking in the group, like, hey, like, how do I deliver this thing? Do I need like a third-party service? And like with ClickFunnels, you don't need that. You just kind of do it. So for example, like we want to, like, I'm just going to choose this one. We'll actually build it out real quick just to give you an example of what it would look like. So are you familiar with like what a split test is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can like say that you go through and you build this whole thing out completely how you want to. You can create a variation from the one that you just finished and then make the button like orange or yellow, and then it'll split the data or split the traffic 50-50 to see which one converts. Or you can split it any percentage, but 50-50 makes the most sense at first to see which one is converting. So like this would be your how do you phrase it? Like your vegan shopping list?
Yeah, I go back and forth. Technically, plant-based and vegan is the same, but it's not the same.
So, okay. Right. I mean, it could be literally whatever, but okay. So you can create a little headline here. And I mean, if you're talking to people about this, like you don't have to get too salesy with it, but then they enter their name and their email address, and then you can come over here to download the list now, download your list now. And I mean, you have all these options over here, which is really cool that you can, you know, just start to edit this stuff to make it, you know, custom to you. So this is essentially what your landing page could look like. And let me move this box down here. And then you can save it. You can give it a title, vegan shopping list. And then you can have the thank you page. And for you, what I would do is I would say, like, this creates the thank you page. So I would create something that would encourage them. Your shopping list is on the way to your inbox. First, start your vegan 7-day challenge. Start your free I'm telling you, it's real life. All right, so you could literally have this say, whatever you want, and have them go here, right? So is this like making sense so far, and kind of seeing how quickly you could put this together?
Yeah, this seems way easier than when I was trying to do MailChimp.
Yeah, and that's why I was like, let me just show you, because it could really cut out some of the confusion and the challenge and the stuff that other people have questions on. And then here, this is where you can say facebook.com/group name here, and that way you can link them to your group. So, your shopping list is on the way to your inbox, but first, and then it says start your 7-day vegan challenge. So that way you're kind of killing two birds with one stone. You're getting them in the funnel, you're getting their email address, and you're then routing them to your group because like if they're interested in the shopping list, the next logical step is to give them some kind of challenge.
Right.
And so, that's really this is like the simplest of funnels that you could create. But that way, all your contacts will start coming in here under the contacts. Obviously we don't have any, but they all just show up here. You can export them. You can, set this up. And if you're going to get super nerdy with it, like I do, you can add in tracking codes to see to either retarget them, or if you've got the Facebook pixel installed, you can hit them up that way. But there's so many options for what you're trying to do. And if you so you can integrate this. Well, I got to go back to do it.
Sorry, my child puked all over me. So.
Oh, fun! Do you want to take a minute and?
I'm okay.
Are you sure? Not the first time. That's funny. That's why I did this when mine were asleep, because I was afraid of that happening.
Gross. Okay.
But so, you can choose here under activation, integration, what action you want to take. Do you want to add them to a list? Do you want to, it's very versatile for what you're trying to do with being able to deliver something and then also connect with them and pass them on to kind of the next step of your funnel, which is the plant-based challenge side.
Okay.
So for what you're trying to do, I would definitely recommend ClickFunnels as a good alternative. It'll cut out kind of some of the stuff that has probably been holding you back.
Yeah. Now you don't email through this, do you?
No. So they have all sorts of different stuff that you can set up, but the way that I've always done it, because they've got the $97 package and then they have the $297 package where you can integrate these other aspects of it. I mainly just use ClickFunnels for the funnel aspect, and then I use either MailChimp or ActiveCampaign for the actual email side of it.
Okay.
So if this was my funnel, I would basically take these people and I would funnel them to my ActiveCampaign list, and then from there I would set up whatever I wanted to do from that. ActiveCampaign is overkill in comparison to MailChimp. So for what you're doing, I would send them to your MailChimp list basically, and that way you could hop in, because MailChimp's free. So
right.
So I think that's probably the ideal combination for what you're trying to do.
So is that so you would use then MailChimp if you were to do let's say a 5-day challenge, but you wanted it through email, where it would generate automatic emails?
Yep, that's
that MailChimp.
Yeah, I would use MailChimp they've now included their automation for free now. So I would go in there and build a little automated sequence that says, when the trigger of this new person enrolls in this list, send them email 1, then send them email 2, then send them email 1, then delay, wait a day, send them email 2, delay, wait a day. And that way you could kind of have them work through that drip sequence once a day over 7 days through the thing. The thing that I would say though, if you do that, I would find a way for them to engage. Like, if you don't want to do a group, that's fine, but I would really recommend doing a group, and then as part of the challenge, have them report back to the group to drop like, hey, today I cooked whatever, like, to keep them accountable, but it also creates engagement in your group without having to be the one that's always engaging.
Right.
So, you do that and people will start, celebrating wins with with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's where I've kind of been hesitant, because I've done a few challenges in like my old fitness group that I had, but I couldn't figure out if it would annoy people if only 2 out of like the 100 people did it. If it's annoying to get like the posts every day.
What happens if somebody's annoyed by something?
I guess they'll leave.
There you go. Like, you can't always worry about how things are gonna like emotionally affect everybody else, because we can't control everybody else. So, like, I post stuff sometimes and I'm like, dude, if you don't like it, like, leave. I don't care. Like, you're not part of the tribe anyway if you're not resonating with what we're all trying to do here. So what good does it do? But you're always gonna have those people that are negative, or they're, this is too much, or this is annoying. It's like, yeah, but at the end of the day, like, if you're trying to get them into a paid course eventually, that person who's annoyed by all the interaction isn't going to be the person who's going to pay you for that paid course.
Right.
So get them out of there now.
Yeah, that's true. That's one of those things that I just need to get over.
Yes, it's all in your head.
Pleasing everybody thing.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be surprised at how many people I talk to that struggle with that exact same thing. I did for a long time. I still do in some aspects.
Yeah.
So you're not alone.
Yeah, this is helpful though.
Good. Awesome. So what is your next step in gonna, like, how are you gonna, do you have a plan on how you're gonna kind of attract these people to get the freebie, like to get the shopping list? Do you know how you're gonna do that?
Not really.
Okay. Do you have any ideas?
I mean, my first thought is just share on my personal Facebook.
That's a big one. Absolutely.
And then I have some friends who are always willing to share these things too, which is helpful. But I'm always hesitant on sharing anything in like other groups because people are crazy. And people get very angry if you share things that aren't like related. I mean, like it's related to that group, but it's not from that group, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's
people assume you're always selling something, and
well, you are. Eventually, you are.
Right. And I don't know. I think there's just a sour taste in my mouth from all the years of MLM stuff. Not that MLMs are bad, but
we can talk about that offline. Look, I agree, but there are some groups that you can make it not seem so, like, a lot of people when they do stuff, it seems so desperate. It's like, oh my God, come buy my stuff. And it's like,
yeah,
really, like, so you're not trying to do that. You like share your story, and at the end of it, be like, one of the hardest things was for me to figure out at first what to buy. And a lot of my friends I've talked to that have tried this as well have struggled with this too. So I put together this, plant-based shopping list. Do you want it? Like, you're just trying to help people. You're not trying to sell them anything right now. So there are certain groups where you can, post stuff like that. You can post links and it's not a big deal. And I'm sure that in some of the, like, are you in any of those like mom groups?
So many.
See, and I'm sure that like in there, it's like, I would honestly, if I were you, I would consider posting in there that, like, hey, would you try a vegan diet for your family? Yes or no? Comment below. And then everybody that says yes, just shoot them a DM and be like, hey, I just wanted to shoot this. I was just wondering, you mentioned that you'd be interested in doing a plant-based diet. Like I said, go on and be like, one of the hardest things for me was figuring out what to buy. Would you be interested in getting a shopping list to help you start that? See what they say. Just start conversations with people. That's probably how you and I have, become friends on Facebook. It's like, well, I just started a conversation with you. And here we are, you know what I mean? And it's like, if somebody, shows negativity or hate, just screw it and keep going. It's like, that what you're trying to do is genuinely try to help them. And I think that it's one of those things where it's like, it's not going to be as bad as you think it is.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, whenever you create this link, let me see if I can show you on my phone. Yeah, it's probably not going to let me. Whenever you create this link, add it to the bio of your profile, so that anybody who comes and you can look at my link or my profile, and in the bio it shows there's a section where it has a description it has like a picture and a description, and in it is a link to the group. And so you can do that with this, to where that way, like, make a big bio picture that's square and say interested in a free plant or vegan based shopping list, and then like point down and drop the link. And that way anybody that views your profile to be like, who is this chick? They can then click on it and be like, oh shit, this is cool. Like, I want this.
Yeah, so I have that right now that goes to my group.
So I would because the shopping list is a little bit, it's like, it has the appearance of more value and less friction. If I think that you're trying to get me in your group, it's like, well, why do I want to be in another group? And so it's like, you're already going to be presenting them with the opportunity to join your group once they get into the plant-based or the vegan shopping list. That'll be on the thank you page, so they'll have the opportunity then to join it.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So you're not missing that opportunity, you're just delaying it by a step.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes more sense. I think people like the free idea definitely trumps adding to another group.
Right. And then even whenever, like on the thank you page, when you're going to be adding them to the group, it's not like you're saying, hey, join my group. You're saying, hey, let's do this 7-day challenge together, or whatever length of time you choose, weekend challenge together, and see if you can do it, try and, live a happier life, however you want to position it, but definitely talk about the emotional and physical benefits of trying it. And throw up some testimonials or something of what people who have done it get from it. Like, why would somebody want to do it? I think that's one of the biggest things, is just misinformation and not knowing like why they should even consider doing it,
Right. Yeah, that all makes sense. That's helpful.
So does this help give you clarity now kind of on where to go from a I guess a ClickFunnels aspect